Austin's mayor is defending the city's partnership with the Department of Public Safety. This after a trooper shot a suspect in the arm overnight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Daniel Marin.
I'm Avery Travis, in for Britt Moreno. Just hours ago, the Public Safety Commission asked the City Council to end the partnership between Austin Police and DPS if certain conditions aren't met. They want more oversight and more accountability. And the mayor told us he is willing to change the partnership's strategy when needed, but he said the suspect who was shot overnight is the type of suspect troopers should be targeting and arresting.
This was somebody that we wanted off the street. There was a warrant for that person's arrest for a felony activity, and that person is now off the street. The mayor also gave us some new insight into the decision to bring troopers in to help APD. KXAN's Brianna Hollis asked him what prompted the move. The truth is that I inherited a badly depleted police force.
Mayor Kirk Watson says that fact was the driving factor in pursuing the partnership that put state troopers on Austin streets.
Practical, innovative way to help Austin.
For the past 6 months, we've been talking about a partnership, but we never talk about where it started.
From the day the city announced the program, critics have questioned its inception, wanting to know why it wasn't discussed publicly ahead of its launch.
How this decision came to be and whether there was consideration of bringing city council in to talk about it ahead of time.
Well, this was an administrative or management decision. But
Mayor Watson says he met with a lieutenant governor about the initiative earlier this year after a string of major crimes in the city. Watson says later, once the governor's office got on board, he had Police Chief Joseph Chacon meet with DPS to talk logistics, and the plan was born from there.
By supplementing and supporting our police, we're helping our constituents.
Watson highlighted the drop in violent crime the city saw as a result of having DPS troopers on the streets, as well as substantial amounts of fentanyl and methamphetamine troopers seized during traffic stops. While critics recognize we're seeing results, some still have lingering concerns about DPS's impact on communities of color.
What is your direct message to them who are trying to find the positives but not quite seeing them yet?
Well, first of all, we need to look at the positives. And the second is we are all concerned about numbers that in these instances are troubling. So what we have done is we have, as we promised we would do at the beginning, is listen, look at those numbers, and then recalibrate.
Brianna Hollis, KXAN News.
And we also asked Mayor Watson how long the partnership is expected to last. He says he will move to keep DPS in Austin until APD can fill its roughly 300 open positions as long as the project is successful. Watson says he's also open to continuing to make adjustments regarding where the troopers are deployed.
When it comes to accountability, we looked at the body camera policy for both DPS and APD and for when cameras should be recording. Guidelines for both agencies show the devices should be turned on from the start of responding to a call until the investigation ends.
There is one difference, though. DPS guidelines say agents are not allowed to stop recording when a person makes the request if the recording is part of the investigation. Whereas APD's policy says officers should not use their body cameras if a victim or witness requests not to be recorded, but only if that person is cooperating with the investigation.
These two agencies also differ on when to release video to the public. DPS guidelines state video will not be released if they're treating it as evidence in an investigation that's ongoing, and it will only be released if the prosecutor in that case allows it. Under APD's policy, though, video will be released in 10 business days after a use of force incident.
All right, to these scorching temperatures now, and heat-related medical calls have not stopped. Austin Travis County EMS responded